Today we have a short film called Kismet, directed by Cammarck. He's here with his leading actress, and I believe it's his producer, I forget. Come on up here, Sean, say a couple of words and say hello. Welcome. Thank you. Introduce yourself, say hello to Toronto.
Hello, Toronto. Hello. Horror fans. I'm Sean Cammarck. I'm the writer-director of Kismet. This is the lead actress, Nicole McCafferty.
Hi, guys.
This is my co-producer, Derek. That's your right name?
He's the useful one.
All right, so Kismet, for those who don't know, means fate or destiny, and it's a horror comedy, and I don't want to tell you too much about it because it's one of those movies where the less said, less you know going in, the better. Kind of wanted to keep as many surprises in it as possible, but I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I want to thank everyone who helped me make the film, you guys, everyone else. We did it for practically no money, and I think it looks fantastic, and I hope you enjoy it.
I guess I'll just say I've worked with Sean a number of times, and the whole team, actually, we always have a wonderful team, and yeah, we can't be, I guess, honored enough to be opening for the Drownsman. We're very, very excited about it, and I hope you enjoy Sean's twisted sense of humor as much as I did.
Yeah, no, I just want to say, if anyone likes the movie, feel free to come up to us and tell us what you liked about it. If you don't like the movie, be nice. Apart from that, you know, have a great time. I'm also looking forward to, you know, seeing some of the other films as well. So, yeah.
And thank you to After Dark for having us.
Ahead a little bit. Tonight is actually our werewolf night, and we have 2 werewolf movies. Starting at 7 o'clock, we have the North American premiere of Wolves, directed by David Hayter. He's best known for writing X-Men, X-Men 2, Watchmen. He's also an actor, and he's also the voice of Solid Snake for Metal Gear Solid fans. So he'll be here at 7 o'clock for his film and doing a Q&A. At 9:30, we have a really awesome film called Late Phases. I'm not going to say too much about it, but I was really surprised by this film, and I really like it a lot, so you should come check it out. I know Sunday night's a difficult night to come out, especially when we're working tomorrow, but please give it some consideration. And another shameless plug, I'm a Wormwood film fan. Wormwood is taking place on Wednesday at 9:30. I know you guys had your kind of injection of zombie films last night. You haven't seen anything yet until you come see Wormwood on Wednesday. So please come out. Anyway, on to the feature film. The Drownsman. It is my pleasure to introduce the director, who I've known for several years. Come up here, Chad. So I'll let you do most of the talking. Welcome, sir. Pleasure to see you. Thank you. No, I'm going to cry. All right. Welcome to your Toronto premiere. I know you have Michelle you wanted to bring up too.
Come on up, Michelle.
Michelle, where are you? Welcome, Michelle. Nice to meet you.
Hi guys, I just wanted to welcome you, we wanted to welcome you to the Toronto premiere of The Drownsman. I'm Michelle Milet, I got to be in this movie, which is great, and this is Chad Archibald, and he's the director and writer.
How you guys doing? Awesome. First of all, thanks for coming out. It's so awesome. We've been filming a new movie for the past 3 weeks and have been in the trenches. So we wrapped at 6 a.m. this morning, had a few hours sleep, and I'm sure a few of you were actually on set with us. But it's amazing kind of going from set where everyone's filthy and grimy and trying to make one of these things happen, and coming here and actually getting to see so many faces coming out to appreciate the arts and independent film. But yeah, The Drownsman, it's we've done a ton of films in our lives, and it's definitely been the biggest challenge. This film was something we went into with a very small budget and huge ambition. Built a ton of sets, and every day had water gags, and I mean, I don't know how many people out here have dealt with filming water, but it's a nightmare on its own. It's way scarier than the movie. So so every day was a challenge, and it was just it was mind-blowing to see how many people came together, cast and crew, what our cast went through to make this movie happen. You would never know, but it was filmed in the dead of winter, so Meant for the summer, but you know how things work. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks, Toronto After Dark, Anchor Bay, everyone who's here, and we'll chat after the movie.
What I like to call our first slasher movie. That was an Adam Lopez joke, by the way. I'd like to welcome back to the stage director Chad Archibald, producer Christopher Giroux. Come on up here, guys. We have a lot of people to bring up on stage, so welcome back. So, Chad, I've known you for a while, and I just want to get more into your head about where this idea came from and sort of your writing process. I know the last two films you've co-wrote with Cody Callahan. Sort of tell me and the audience what your process is like for writing.
Usually me and Cody, when we know we have to do a film, we go up to some cottage somewhere far away and just hang out for 7 days and write stuff on the walls and make it look like a crazy man's cabin. But yeah, we just wanted to try to make something that would, kind of be a throwback to the films that we grew up watching, the Nightmare on Elm Street, the Friday the 13th, and something that would kind of scare us. So we kind of thought, what scared us, and I know me personally, I still suck at swimming. When I was young, I was always terrified of water and
Swimming troubles.
I know, I'm a big guy, I just float, but it freaks me out. But yeah, so it was just that idea of being claustrophobic, having the idea of drowning was always something that was so terrifying to me, and then, I don't know, you have a sloppy dude grabbing your foot, dragging you underwater. It's terrifying, it's scary, right?
Sharks is one thing, sloppy grabbing is another, right?
So anyways, that's kind of where it started. We just wanted to scare kind of our young selves, and that figured it seemed like it would do it.
And Chris, the Black Fawn Films family, you're sort of relatively new. I know you have a really amazing story of how you got involved. I know about it. Tell them.
When I went to Sheridan College, I actually interned on a film and met Ryan Barrett, who plays the Drownsman in the film. And we stayed in touch for many years. And I knew about Chad and I knew about Black Fawn, and it's a company that I definitely wanted to work for, kind of leading up to it. So I decided that Chad was speaking at a panel at Fan Expo. He was promoting Bounty Hunters that got picked up by Anchor Bay. So I was going to go and meet him. I was going to go to Fan Expo.
This is embarrassing.
Kind of meet him. And I was too nervous to actually approach him on the panel. Now he's like a brother to me, but now I was too nervous to meet him on the panel. So I left. I actually went with two of my friends, Ryan Robinson and Shauna Reed, and I think Shauna's actually here tonight. And we went and I left. Empty-handed, didn't get to meet Chad, and Ryan Barrett was actually directing something coming up and asked me to come out and help out. So I go, nervous already to meet Chad, and I get locked in a staircase for a parking garage. So I'm late for call, and the only number on the call sheet is Chad's. So I have to call him and admit that I've been locked in a staircase in a parking garage, but I'm here, and he has to literally come and rescue me. And we've been friends ever since, and working together ever since. So it's definitely a family-oriented company with all very cool origins of how we all kind of came together. So.
Yeah, I literally showed up, and Chris G was in a stairwell for about an hour, just standing there, being like,
I was literally on my phone out, and I was like, do I call? Do I actually make this call? Do I actually have to call Chad and be like, hey? So I'm your dolly grip today, and I've been locked in a staircase for an hour.
Yeah. Welcome to the family, I guess.
Thank you.
All right, before we bring up our lovely cast, we have some of them here today. One of the things I really love about this film is your production design. If you can tell us a little bit more about Vince, who does an amazing job. Please tell us a little more.
Give it up for Vince, ladies and gentlemen, the hardest working.
Where is Vince right now? That guy. Come on up, Vince. Come on up here, buddy. So Vince and his team of pirates basically went out to a field and built the Drownsman set. A lot of the sets that were in the movie, a lot of the the scenes were all basically in this one kind of shanty hut thing that we built with like underground tunnels, and it was very, very ambitious. Again, we had like $12 to make it, so he was very, very resourceful. Anyways, he's also done a ton of films with us, and he's working on a film right now called The Sublet, and he's been up all night.
Thank you. How are you guys doing? A little tired. Yeah. No, I actually got a 1 o'clock on it.
Yeah, I think Vince left at 1 last night building a set.
Yeah, it was a great build. We were so many compartments of water, and yeah, it was one of the toughest builds I've ever done. Just everything drying was the base issue. So much water.
So much water. So much water.
Shell of what he used to be before the film started.
We built the set in an apple orchard so that the water could drain kind of naturally versus building it in the studio, and so Vince spent a lot of nights and weekends in the winter building a set in an apple orchard. So there was nobody that worked harder on this film than Vince.
Let's stick around. You guys want to introduce your
Let's bring up the
director?
cast. Let's bring up Michelle and Caroline and Sydney and Katie and Joanne. Let's bring them all up.
And the Drownsman himself.
The Drownsman himself,
Sebastian
Ryan
Films, Ryan Barrett.
So everyone with this film, like I said earlier, we plan to film this in the summer when it's nice and everybody wants to go in water. But unfortunately everything got pushed and we ended up filming pretty much like 2 years ago now? A year ago. Yeah, so I mean, Mount Forest is where we shot, and I'm sure it's probably going to snow there tonight. And yeah, everything became very, very difficult with all of them. And we had the best team ever. They were so amazing, and they were such troopers, and I felt bad every single day.
No, you didn't. I have a question for the ladies. Michelle, you worked on Antisocial. What made you come back and work for Chad? What is it about Black Fawn? Tell us a little bit more, how you got involved.
Yeah, well, I started with Antisocial, which was the first job I ever booked with these guys, and really anywhere. So that was an amazing experience. And then I knew that Antisocial 2 was happening, which we actually just finished filming, I guess, a month ago almost now. And so I knew I was going to be doing that, which was really exciting. And then I heard that they were working on this new film, but they didn't ask me to be in it or anything. And I was like, oh, like, I hear you have this new thing. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, can I be in it? Or can I audition to be in it? Or like anything? And they were like, I don't know. And didn't really want me to, but I like asked them over and over again and like harassed them in person and on email. And then finally they're like, okay, just come in and read. For the role, and so I did, and just like killed it, and yeah, no, so this movie was great. It was really intense, obviously, for everyone, and we didn't sleep very much. It was very cold and wet, and I was wearing a wool sweater, which just like held the water, and like the whole thing was really crazy, but it was amazing, and they're the nicest, most hardworking people I've ever had a chance to know, and so it was like a no-brainer to come back.
Awesome, thank you. Tell me some horror stories, perhaps from days on set.
We're taking those mics away.
You know.
Signed piece of paper. No. No. The one thing that I think we all agreed on was we didn't have to dig too deep at times to be afraid and tired and freezing. And, so we had that to work with, and yeah, it was November, like last November, where I don't know if you guys remember, it was the worst snowstorm of like at least the past 5-10 years. So
these people weren't in Mount Forest, so they don't know.
That's true. Mount Forest was 10 times worse. We'd be driven out to this apple orchard in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, it was awesome, but it was grueling for sure.
Katie had to do it in January when we did pickups.
Yeah. Actually, one of the worst days. Well, yeah, no, I'm sorry. That's a really horrible way to start a story, but you want to hear the horror stories, right? You think that it was, for me personally, was you think it would have been me in the chest, which was actually wasn't too bad, you know. It was warm, it was cozy, but it was a little frightening at times. But if you remember in the film, when Madison falls into the water and she sees all our dead bodies, we went to a pool and shot that. And because we had to float to a certain point in the pool, we had to be weighted with weights on our costumes, and that was a pretty uncomfortable experience, I gotta say. So that was sort of different for us. But yeah, it was also very, very cold constantly. But to reiterate what Michelle said, it was one of an amazing experience, amazing crew. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Fantastic, thank you. I want to hear more.
I don't have a horror story. I wasn't in the tank or anything, but I have followed these guys, Black Fawn, for a couple of years now, and so when I had the opportunity to audition, I was very excited, and we live in the same town, and it was an honor to be in a film with them. They really are great guys. It's a great big family, and it was a lot of fun. So, you're my younger self.
No
One last horror story.
These guys are great. Everything was wonderful. My first experience with them, they definitely just threw me in the deep end, literally. And yeah, I think we swam pretty well together. It was a good team, and it was a lot of fun.
So what makes you come back for more? Especially with the makeup, and tell us a little bit more.
We both signed this contract with the devil many years ago. We're still suffering for it. I don't know. We started together. It's kind of like it's a brotherly thing at this point. I mean, like we'll all ask him for help on anything that I'm doing, and if he's doing something and he wants me to be a part of it, I'm just there. So yeah, it's just kind of like that.
Amazing. Tell us a little bit about makeup. How long was the process? You know,
makeup. Jay Gore was basically behind the design of Drownsman, which, well, Chad and him came up with what he was going to look like and the specifics. And then when it came down to it, it was probably about a 3-hour makeup job, which consisted of about, I think there's like 3 or 4 pieces altogether. There was a head cowl that first went on, and then a face mask that was applied to it, and then spray painted, and then a body suit and pants. And then my arms and legs were completely coated in like spray-on paint. And then I was covered in goop. And then there were vines put on top of me. And I put in contacts. And then I was thrown into a pool of water. And then I sat around, and then I was thrown into a pool of water. It was awesome.
All right, we're going to open up to the audience. Anybody have any questions? I really can't see either, so we're right there.
If Madison's afraid of water, how does she clean herself in the morning? Or yes.
Thank you for asking. We actually have a scene, a deleted scene from the film that's going to be on the DVD. But we actually had a ton of scenes that kind of went through Madison's struggles. Just dealing with water. There's so many, obviously, like it's part of everyone's everyday life. And yeah, we had done so many scenes with it. Unfortunately, for timing and stuff like that, they all ended up being special features on the DVD. So yeah, I guess I'm not going to ruin it, but I guess you'll ruin it, or I guess you'll see it whenever you buy the DVD. Goodbye. Coming out from Anchor Bay.
That's true. Yeah.
It's funny how many people ask us that.
Right there.
One point where you showed a phone number that didn't have the classic 555.
If anybody ever wants to find me. It's actually in every one of our films, right down to the first one we ever did, Desperate Souls. I've had the same phone number for a long time. Anyone wants to get in touch, feel free.
Thank you. Anybody else? Somebody yell. Okay, yeah, right there.
The creature effects were really good.
think it's a soup or gravy thickener. You generally add it to thicken stuff, but if it's like a gelatin, and you just add water, and it just gets. You know what it is, right? Yeah. But it's basically, yeah, it's like a clear. It looks like a gel, like a clear gel. That.
Yeah, that's
When the Drownsman was in full costume, were you like freaked out anybody at all?
I was. I think the girls need to answer that one.
Well, we actually didn't get to see him until we all had our first scene with him, so he wasn't like just sitting on his phone like in costume or anything. So, well, at first anyways. And so, yeah, our first scene was like when my eyes were, the first thing that I saw him, my eyes were shut. It was like right before I went into the bathtub. And so they kept them shut, and then they brought him in for me to like open my eyes and see him for the first time. He smelled like latex. It was really weird, but yeah, it was scary. It was scary, yeah, for sure. But it's weird when you're on a horror movie, like there's like cameras and lights, and like I'm like, oh, that's Ryan Barrett. Like it's a little, just not as scary, which is good.
Yeah, the first time I saw him, I think was the elevator scene, so it legitimately was terrifying because we're up on the railings and they cut the floor and had to do all this crazy stuff just to even get those scenes to work. And he just emerged with his creepy eyes staring up at us and was grabbing at us. So I was legitimately terrified. And it helped, yeah, that he wasn't hanging around in his costume.
Yeah, I think they were all pretty freaked out, and then after that first initial scene, I think then it kind of cooled off a little bit, except for Gemma, who was, I think, terrified right until I think she walked in at one point and I was sipping coffee through a straw and telling jokes, bad jokes about using Drownsman puns, which I did to keep myself sane through standing in the makeup. But I think after that, it was just, that was it.
There was a lot of Drownsman puns. Like, he comes from a land drowned under.
Turn that frown.
It's not as bad as my slasher joke. One last question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In terms of budget, what did you find was the biggest killer?
Working with water?
We'd start every day. We'd say, all right, 12-hour shoot day. I would probably go out about 6 hours before then, me and Vince, and work on trying to figure out how to make our ridiculous little water gag work in the morning. It would take, 12 hours to figure that out, even though we'd been planning on napkins for about 6 months. Because it would always fail. Everything to do with water, it had no mercy, and it just rained and poured and snowed, and there was no plumbing in the place. You couldn't just walk up to this tub and fill it with water. It was like we had buckets, like garbage cans with bucket heaters in them, and we'd wake up every hour and switch all the bucket heaters all night long. Then we'd go and we'd have a bucket brigade. Everyone would grab all these buckets and bring them through the snow, and we'd fill up this tub, and it would be like, yeah, and it was good. It was like good camaraderie, and everyone's like, yeah, let's fill up this thing, and then we'd get there and it'd be like, okay, it's half full. It's half full. What are we gonna do? Oh, no, that is leaking. Oh. Okay, it's empty again. What are we gonna do? So it was, most days were like that. So it was pretty relentless, but that was definitely what killed us on this film, was just always dealing with water. Chris G in the kitchen, Mama G cooked, heating kettles and putting them in coolers. It was ridiculous.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, the last time we filled up the tub when Katie went in was the only time that we actually finally sealed the tub, and it finally filled. And to be honest, I think it was just because it was frozen.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, guys, for being here. Give it up for the Toronto premiere of The Drownsman.